I thought these are two separate ones, but maybe they're the same. So they were showing one thing about how important it is to stand in your truth. It was like I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. It was just being me. I was standing in my truth. It was just whatever. And it's like we forget how powerful that is sometimes, just to set the example. It's like when you tell your truth, it gives people permission to tell their truth. It like helps people have courage to do it too. And so they started to go into this like wild scene where bottom line was, it was like it appeared like I had saved so many and I had no idea and I didn't do anything. And they came up to thank me and I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm like, I get guidance to move this way or that. Like, I'm not doing diddly dick, right? Like, it's all unconditional love. That it's like when you are strengthen yourself to have the courage to trust yourself and to love yourself and allow unconditional love to flow through you. He's the one who's doing, it's like, if it feels like miracles. That's what it is. It's like, because you're not necessarily aware of how you're assisting or helping others, because you're really not. Can you hear this full circle? And so that's why it's also like, don't get twisted. Don't think it's you. Not that it's not. It's like you've done your part and that's beautiful, but also don't take over credit, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Because then it is the idea, then you slip into your ego. Then you're like, oh yeah, look at me. And it's like, okay, slow your roll. The only thing you did was stand in your truth, which is beautiful. And that's huge. I'm not discrediting that. Yet it's also it's like for example, the example they just showed me, it's like, it's not like I knew or intentionally was like saving somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's not how that works. Okay, so there's that. But then they had taken me to another scenario where I was engaging with somebody that I have already deemed a liar, only because I have caught him in so many lies that it was like, oh, okay, that's what this person is. He's such a habitual liar that he can't keep up with his own lies, which is what it is, right? Like he's got himself so tangled up because he lies to himself probably, right? Like he probably lies to himself and then convinces himself of that lie. And then, lies just breed lies, right? Versus truth just breeds truth, right? Like whichever momentum you're going in, and then you get steeped in it. And he's in a tangled mess. And, yeah, look, but this person lies to others. This is interesting now. Okay. Now I'm a little more interested in what they're showing me. Okay. So, because all of us lie to ourselves, and this is what we have to untangle in one's own mind, right? This is interesting. Okay. Slow your roll. Slow down, please. So they're showing somebody. Okay. Wow, they're showing a lot. I'm not going to be able to verbalize this if you don't slow down. Where we're all lying to ourselves, and then that's what you have to figure out. You have to see your lies and be like, oh my God, right? Because a lot of times they're subtle lies, right? And then you recognize it because you get a bump. Something will happen and you'll be like, oh my God, I was lying to myself. I was manipulating. I was doing that to get. I was whatever. And so you straighten up. You clear it up. You clear the confusion. You get back in your alignment. You stand back in your truth. You honor you. You move from your honor, from your alignment, from your truth. And if you're not doing that, I talk about that. It's like the work, right? It's face those fears, see those lies, untangle those knots. And I guess maybe they're showing the extreme example. Well, what happens is when you don't do that, when you don't clear up your cobwebs and clear up your karma, right? Because if you're putting out lies, you're going to get it. Like, it's just, if you're tangling outside, you're going to tangle back inside. You're going to get yourself stuck. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So they're showing this person, because oh God, they were just making it more complicated, I think, than needs to be. But I guess it's like, if you're lying and not cleaning up your own cobwebs, then you start to believe your own cobwebs. And then you start telling other people lies. But is it the chicken or the egg? This person is well aware they've lied to me, out and out, flat out lied. They just don't realize that I recognize they're lying to me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the few times, have been a few times that I've made comments that reflect back that I'm aware what they said was a lie, and they tend to go silent. And I don't know if it's because they're like, oh shit, right? Like an innocent mistake, or if they're like, oh shit, she caught me, right? There's a difference. Where if it's like, if you're reflecting back a lie, then they can be shocked by it. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't mean to lie to you. I didn't realize I was lying to myself. And other times when it's like, oh shit, it's like, oh, I intentionally meant to lie to you and you caught me. And the latter is what I think it is with this person. I think he knows he's a liar. What do you call these people? There's it's like habitual liars, but there's an actual term for this. Like, there's a name, there's a label. It's like, it's for people who their habit is lying, but there's a name. Sorry, I can't grasp at what they're trying to show me, but that's what it is. It's whatever that label is or that name is, where people don't, like, there are some people who don't know how to not lie. That has become such a pattern. It's so habitual, and it's so manipulative. They don't even know how to get out of their own way. They don't know how to get out of those. I don't know if that's what I'm confused about. I think that's what they're trying to get me to see. And this is what I'm confused about. Do those people know they're lying, right? Like, if they've lied to themselves for so long, and they've tied themselves up in so many knots, and they've spun so many stories, like, at what point do you... does anybody see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just confused by that. Like, what, so if they're habitual liars, I wish I could think of the name. Pathological liars. Isn't that what it is? Right. Which obviously you can't trust them. And like, that name is scary. Pathological. That scares me. It's like, holy shit, get the fuck away from these people. Right. And they're so good at their lies that you don't know. That's what it is. Right. Because, I think this person and a few people might be that I've encountered, and I'm like, oh God, right? Because you can't trust them. They can't trust themselves, right? Like, it is like something else is totally controlling them. Right? Like, this is the idea we talk about, like, an entity seeped in. But that is like, who could work with that? Do you know what I'm saying? Does anybody hear this? Like, if you really think about that, who the fuck could work with somebody like that? In that you could never know if you could trust a word that's coming out of their mouths. That's like full-on insanity to me. That's like full-on... I guess it's back to what we always say, like, they really would have to want the help. But even then, who knows if they're lying or not? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, oh God. Yeah, let's not. I feel like they are... putting me like in somebody's head that is just, yeah, sorry. They just showed so many cobwebs that I just tossed bleach on it. It's almost like you just gotta, and then sweep it all out. Like you can't necessarily untangle those cobwebs, because those cobwebs need a full-on sweep out. That's the idea of like burn it to the ground and start fresh. That's the idea of like in the Bible where I think they talk about, so I think somewhere, I always get confused between the Bible and Rumi because I feel like the stories are the same. So forgive me, it's one or the other, where they have to take a jar and go down by the river, and I think it gets like all moldy from staying there, or maybe it's cloth. I don't know, maybe I'm mixing the two stories. Maybe one story is about and you just have to destroy it. I think another one was like a jar or a pot or down to the clay, which was implying, the brain needs to be molded and shaped and pliable, and but you need to just destroy it and start anew. Like some have been so infected and so overrun and so tangled with and messed with and confused. In other words, if you think about that, that is really sad. That's really sad, right? Like, did that human come in so pure, so innocent that people took advantage from the jump and confused that mind and lied to that mind, that it started to think it was normal to do such? Like, it's seeing one thing and doing another thing, and that just became normal. Oh, that's what we do. Oh, okay. Right? Like, is that how pathological liars begin, where they see their family members doing that? Right? They're told one thing, but then they see something else happen, and that's happening 24/7, that they're like, oh, okay, so we just lie. Right? Like, they might not even know the word lie. They might not even realize that's what's occurring, but they see what's occurring, right? Because people mimic. This is why it's so important who you surround yourself with, right? You can slip into places and then you're like, oh God, what is happening? Well, slip back the fuck out, right? Like, something's weird, right? And you might not always be able to pinpoint it. I feel like I'm going off of many things here. Okay, yeah, they're showing the little kid again, right? Like, as a kid, was he constantly in those kind of environments? But so then what happens? What that breeds? Well, that mistrust breeds mistrust, which is what? Liars. So, yeah, so that's what they've bred, is liars. Mistrust breeds mistrust, so they've bred liars. Liars breed liars. And so, yeah, so then somebody has to untangle it. Somebody has to be the cog in the wheel. Otherwise, that family line, that's all they'll ever be, is pathological liars. In other words, none of them will ever be happy. None of them will ever be set free. They'll all be caught up in their own cobwebs as well as their family's cobwebs, that family line of it. Do you see what I'm saying? So they have to untangle themselves. They are the dire straits. But what they were showing is like, yeah, who could help somebody in those kind of dire straits? It would have to be the one who truly, truly wants to break their own confusion and delusion. And fuck, it's not easy, as you hear me talk about all the time when you untangle knots, but that person would have, it's the idea of the dark night of the soul, it could be an entire lifetime it could take to unravel that, Some people, it's the dark night of the soul, which is hilarious to me because I've never had a night of dark night, right? Like, it's like when you're going through, like, I'm a full-on hermit. Like, you're forever untangling stuff. So some people it's a few nights, some people it's a week, some people it's a month, some people it's a year, some people it's a decade, some people it's a lifetime, I suppose. So it just depends on how muddled that mind is, right? And I guess how much the heart, the soul is pushing to be freed, right? To be cleared of all of that will determine how much they'll keep plowing through, pushing through, working on themselves, loving themselves. Because I imagine that kind of scenario would become exhausting, or a give up situation, right? Like where they eventually would give up on themselves if they didn't love themselves enough, because it would likely take a tremendous amount of love of oneself to want to be able to honor oneself and stand in one's truth. Because somebody like that, it's like once I saw that person was a liar, it's like you do have to slowly back away. And I imagine that's what they're encountering all the time, is people back away, back away, back away once they see, oh, you're a liar. I can't trust you. I can't trust anything that's coming out of your mouth. You're going to start to confuse me. You're going to start to tangle my mind. No, thank you. You can keep your cobwebs to yourself. You can clean up your own space, because you don't have any interest in cleaning up your space right now. All you're doing is continuing to spin. So you got to back away from that. And so that they're going to have to encounter something like that, I imagine. I imagine they'll, if they've always been, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You've always been the liar. And people have always tried to help you because they bought into your lie. But eventually they're going to be like, oh, you're the liar. So anything you say, even if you're true now, you've been pigeonholed into that. So I imagine that would be tremendously hard for somebody like that, to not give up on himself, to love himself so much and so fully that he keeps pushing through. And it's proof in the pudding, right? Like he would have to, how do you gain somebody's trust again after you've lied and lied and lied? You're going to have to be more truthful. It's going to be twice as hard. It's the idea we talk about, like depression, right? Like you go so far. If everybody's at ground zero, even keel, but people who go, get depressed, they go 100 steps down, and then they have to climb 200 steps up. So you're like, oh my God, they're at 100. They're amazing. That's amazing. So you have to go down to get up? No, you sure don't. That idiot made it twice as hard, right? Like they went down and then they had to climb back up just to get to where you are, totally exhausted at base level. And now they climb up to 100. So we're patting them on the back for working twice as hard because they chose to. What are you doing? They chose to do that, right? Like I've done that to myself. It was serving me somehow, right? It was like I had to prove to myself. Why? I had to untangle all that mess myself. We have to untangle our mess because we're creating our mess. And why are we doing that? Because we're trying to prove to ourselves that we're good enough and worthy. Well, you already are. But you have to do what you have to do. You have to prove it however you're going to prove it to yourself. Right? So some people already know it, and other people, however much their mind has been messed with, right? Because our outside does influence our inside, and we don't want that to be the case, but until you're strong enough for it not to be the case, it's the case. So it's like you really have to bust through all that to strengthen one's own mind and one's own alignment, and then it becomes easier. So it's kind of what I'm saying. It feels like it has to be harder before it's better. But if you've been fortunate enough to be steeped in a healthy environment from the jump, some stuff might be so innate to you, so normal to you, that you can't even comprehend or understand the other. What do you mean I'm not worthy? Of course I am. Right? Like they're natural in that flow. And that's beautiful. That's blissful, right? But they probably have also learned the hard way of they have to protect their home, so to speak, because I don't know how to describe what they're showing. It's like they're so pure that there are savages that are always going to want to destroy that. That's the idea of envy, jealousy, and neither truly understanding one another, right? If somebody was born into that pure bliss of knowing they were worthy and good and never experienced the depths of hell if the people are jealous and envy, they just see them as savages. They can't even relate to them. They don't understand why they're behaving in such nonsense manners. But if they slip from their alignment and feel even a taste of that, they'll likely run right back to their center. And hopefully they do, right? Because again, it's like you don't need to prove it. But many are the opposite. They're born into confusion and delusion, and people who are unhealed. And then you have to untangle that mess, right? You have to unravel all of that to get back to your truth, back to your center, back to your purity, and then build from there. Hopefully you can hear all that. I need to jump off. It's the middle of the night.
Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.